Welcome back to another episode of the True North Weddings podcast. I am so excited today to talk about one of the most important topics in wedding planning. Dun, dun, dun. It's food. It's totally food. Come on. Every time I meet with somebody to talk about their wedding, we're clear that food is going to be a really important part of the day. And beverage, I should say. Food and beverage. And I'm joined here today by one of my favorite colleagues in the industry, Molly Nett from Blackwoods Group Catering. And we're going to pick her brain about all things wedding, food, and beverage. And she's going to give us some amazing advice and just insight. And we're going to share some stories. And we're going to have a great conversation about planning your wedding food and beverage, because we got to have a bar, right? That's a necessary part of an event. So join me in chatting with Molly. I can't wait to get into this episode. Welcome to True North Weddings, the podcast that helps you navigate an authentic path to your wedding day. I'm your host, Mariah McKechnie, and I'm excited to be your guide in finding your true north along the journey of wedding planning. Over the past 15 years, I've collected a wealth of wisdom and experience working with couples to not only plan an incredible wedding day, but also enjoy the process throughout the journey. I'm thrilled to have this podcast to share this knowledge with you. And on the pod, I'll feature love stories, interview wedding professionals, and give you my honest, unfiltered advice on how to follow your true north straight to the altar and enjoy every last minute of the party. So get ready for bold, beautiful, and inspiring real talk about real weddings and real challenges. Promise me you'll bring an open mind and heart as you listen. Your True North wedding is just ahead. Let's go. Hi, Molly.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you here today with Caitlin and I on the True North Weddings podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
I feel like we often end up seeing each other on site at a wedding, but to get to spend time talking about the planning process and to share your knowledge of planning wedding food and beverage is exciting today for our guests, because people always have questions about food.
Yeah, big part.
I want to first, though, talk about how you got into this industry and your story as a wedding vendor, and particularly in catering. So just tell us, how'd you end up here today?
Yeah. How far back do you want to go?
Yeah. Wherever you think it started.
I knew that I wanted to be in events, but like many graduates, that did not happen like right away. I didn't get my dream job immediately. And I was actually working at a daycare as a 2-year-old teacher.
Really? I didn't know this about you.
Yes, I did. Funny story. There's a lot of similarities between 2-year-olds and brides sometimes. A lot of like emotional regulation. Yes. And also dealing with their mothers. You know, that's another like family dynamic piece. So it was a good starting point. But actually one of my kiddos, her mom worked for D'Amico Catering down in Minneapolis. So this was down in Minneapolis. And she was trying to poach me to be their nanny. And I was like, so honored, but I'm actually in the middle of planning my own wedding. And then after that, I'm going to get back on the job search. Like, I really want to be an event planner or, in the event world. And she said, well, we should be having a completely different conversation because they had an opening at D'Amico to start as a assistant. So I started there assisting 2 senior event planners, and then just kind of learned the ropes. And next thing I knew, catering was one of the best ways to be in the event world, doing a lot of the planning, involved with all of the vendors and, like you said, such a big part of the wedding day. And then when we moved to Duluth, it was like Blackwoods was it. Blackwoods was the D'Amico of Duluth is what I kept saying.
Yep.
Like that I wanted only the best, and that is how I feel about Blackwoods. So that's how I got here. There was a stint at the Guthrie in between, actually, working for another catering company.
Oh, that's right. I always say that the jobs that you have early in life, you don't know exactly how they're going to play into what you do in the future, but they're all part of that story.
Totally.
And introduce you to the next person. And
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to you, I was just thinking about how like similar that has been for me too. Just like, and then
Yeah.
this happened and I met this person and
Right.
yeah. And so now you've been in, talk about Blackwoods Catering
Mm-hmm.
and how long you've been there, what your role is with the company. Like give us a little bit more insight into Blackwoods.
Yeah. So I have been with Blackwoods for a little over 6 years now. So it's a sales team of 2. I am the catering sales manager, catering sales director. And then I have Emily as my colleague. So the 2 of us are the 2 that you would talk to do any of the planning for the food part of your wedding. And then we are so lucky. I am so fortunate to get to be involved in events where I get to do a lot of the planning, like the Monday through Friday, like more or less 9 to 5. And then we have a rock star operations team that we get to pass it off to for the actual event day, for the week nights and weekends.
So your role is more on that planning part than actually you have an operations team, chef,
Yep.
people who are trained in the food production side of it that take it from there.
Yes, exactly. Unless, sometimes we'll step in and help out if we need to, or if it's a particularly, big event or high profile client or something, then I'll be there. But otherwise, I just have the beauty of being like total trust in my team that they just take it home.
Well, in all my experience working with you and the whole team, that's what I know is going to happen. I'm total confidence that we're going to get all the details scored away, and then on site it's going to be successful too. So Blackwoods is one of the catering companies that I work with the most, and always are happy to refer. So, and then I get to work with you.
Thank you. Yes.
I actually met Molly when she was just moving to Duluth, and she came and interviewed with us.
I did.
And I was like, this girl, she's going to be my friend. Like we are going to work together, and it's been so much fun ever since.
I was pregnant with
You
Lauren.
were?
Yep.
You totally were.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, we knew we were going to be besties because we immediately connected on The Bachelor, Bachelorette. And that we're both whiskey girls.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was one of those instantaneous things, and it's been fun ever since.
And it was like your whole team came back from an event or something while we were interviewing. So all of a sudden I was like meeting Ellen and meeting everybody already. And I was just like, oh, I'm ready to come be a part of your Duluth community.
Well, we're glad that you've been here. Now it's already been 6 years.
I know. Crazy.
Well, I want to get into what you have advice-wise for our couples listening, or other wedding vendors listening too, because with this podcast, we hope to reach both audiences. Honestly, it's like some percentage of couples and vendors that are going to be getting advice on both sides from hearing what we have to say. So I'm going to pitch it to Caitlin. When you're working with couples and planning the wedding, what's the biggest question that you have, that you get, that you're like, you know what, we need to get your caterer involved in this, and sort of share with us what that experience is like with you when the couples start talking about food and drink.
One of the biggest questions I get is buffet or plated, which is the age-old question when it does come to food is, do I want a buffet? Do I want a plated? How does that work? How does it come out of the kitchen? What takes longer? What's more effective? There's all those questions. And yeah, it's one of those things where I can give you an answer, but we do have to talk to the caterer because you know better than me.
Totally. There's so many factors that go into it, to be honest with you. I mean, I always like to start with, which style of service do you prefer? Because they are different. Do you want everybody to just stay seated at their table and be served, and then it does have a little air of something a little fancier, right? Or do you like the idea of everybody just, a little more casual, get up, do your thing? I mean, that doesn't necessarily affect the food. The food can be the exact same. Yeah. It's just as the style of service is a little bit different. So that's, a number one is, what style of service do you like? But then it is like, the guest count matters, the timeline matters, the venue matters, as far as, do we have enough space? And where do we set up a buffet if we do that, kind of logistics. So much of that depends on where they're getting married. And that's, like you guys, I love that we get to be sort of expert adjacent on all of the venues in town, right? Like we don't have just one venue and the clients are relying on us. Like, well, what works best at the aquarium? What works best at Glensheen for this guest count? It's kind of funny how we have to know so much about so much.
When the clients, they start out, the couples thinking they somehow also need to know this, and then they get stressed and anxious about, well, should I, they jump to conclusions, or they jump to like needing to make a decision, when we go, okay, take a step back.
Totally.
First, let me ask you a series of questions to understand, what is the venue?
Yes.
What layout? What is your vision for the day? And that's what you do with them, is walk them through, like, let's dial it back and first answer these questions, and then we'll get to a decision tree around buffet or plated. Yeah. I think I've heard you talk before too about the cost differential, because I think that's a misconception.
Totally.
Is that one is cheaper than the other.
Absolutely.
So I'd love for you to share the kind of the breakdown of that, because I think that's really eye-opening for people too.
Yeah, total common misconception that buffet is going to be cheaper than plated. If you're offering the same exact meal, if you're offering a signature Blackwoods champagne chicken as a plated meal or as a buffet, it's going to actually be the same, like plated versus buffet. There may be a slight difference in, we may need to add one extra server or something if it's plated versus buffet, but the actual cost of your meal is not going to be different. If you're offering a taco bar versus a plated filet mignon, that is going to be different, but that's just because of what you're offering, right?
It's more about the food than
it's more about the
service.
Food. Yeah. And then actually, if you were doing like a 2-protein buffet, right? And you're offering a chicken and a salmon. So a 2-protein buffet starts at $29 per person. Salmon is a $3 upcharge. Already you're at $32, right? Whereas if I'm offering a plated, a $26 chicken and a $29 salmon, only half the people are getting that $29 salmon, and half the people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you actually are ending up paying more for the same food on a buffet. And the reason for that is because when there are 2 proteins, we have to have more than enough for everybody. Like, we don't know what everybody's going to pick.
Choose.
Right?
And
so it's
if
like,
they're going to grab more than one.
And if they're going to grab more than one, or like a little bit of both. But if it's plated, it's like, okay, we know for sure there are 76 people that are having salmon, and there are 54 people that are having the chicken, right? So we can be more exact, which means the price can be a little more exact.
Yeah. I think that is so helpful, and for you to use real numbers to break it down for people, because they come into it, just having some vision that it's going to be cheaper, and then the shock can come in when they're either comparable or one is more, and now mind blown. And so again, I with every vendor, advise clients, like, let your vendor that you have chosen because you trust them and you believe that they're going to have your best interest, guide you in this decision-making process.
I say the same thing. Trust your vendors. I say a million times, like, this may be the first time you're planning a wedding, but it's not ours, right? Like,
we've seen this all before.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't keep doing things that didn't work. And I would hope that's hopefully how we've landed here.
Yes, totally.
And so trust that we're going to give you the best advice. And that's what I look for in referring as a planner people to other vendors, is those where I know, go talk to Molly, and they're going to get the best advice and experience possible. Because people you don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to know. I'm curious about when someone comes in and they want to really personalize an event. Tell me what you're like. Is that something you love doing?
Yeah.
You're like, tell me about that, what that process looks like, and what sort of parameters do you have to personalize things?
Yeah. I do love it because that's when I get to use a little bit more of the creative juices. Google and Pinterest become my best friends. I would say the most often is when it's people from different like cultural backgrounds
Oh, totally.
that want to have, their traditional like
Mhm.
Mexican food or traditional Greek food or whatever, which those are not things aside from a taco bar,
Yep.
which is very Americanized on our menu. But like aside from that, like we don't have all the cuisines that are automatically offered, but we can do it. And if we put everything on our menu that we can do or that we have done,
It'd be too overwhelming.
I'd be exactly like I'd be handing you a like million page.
It'd be a yellow book.
Be like the
Yes.
Cheesecake Factory menu.
Yes.
So many pages.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, the actual menu, we try to stay a little bit more classic within branding with a couple of fun twists. But as far as customizing, like I love it. I think it's so fun. And then that's how we find new menu items that we all love too, that suddenly are on our menu. Like we just had a new menu come out, and one of the new stations is going to be a Euro station.
Oh,
Because
cool.
we just did it. I know, because we had a couple come in. It was actually for their welcome party, and they wanted like all Mediterranean, like Greek stuff. So all of a sudden we've got like lamb meatballs now, and we're doing a Euro station. And it's like that's how we
It's like your
discover new
R&D.
stuff. It
Yeah.
is totally. And then we'll like try it on another one and be like, okay, it worked. It worked again. Now we can add it.
Right.
Right?
Look at
'Cause it-
making this. How could we make this available as a standard offering?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We've just got a natural, what am I trying to say? The like, not client base, but
It's a test case.
yeah. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, out there that because our servers are out there, they're hearing things. Like they're
Yes.
hearing if people are like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And all of a sudden they can't make it 2 feet without an hors d'oeuvre
Yep.
getting taken off their plate. Or if they're making a loop around the room.
Right.
It's over and over.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, nobody wants this.
Nobody
Nobody wants
Bring
this.
it back to the
Because
kitchen.
that happens too.
happens.
Then we're like, okay, we're taking this off the menu because
Yeah.
we thought it was cool. We tried, maybe it was cool for a while, and now it's just not. You got to keep changing. Got to keep being more innovative in that.
Yeah.
And those custom menus help us do that.
And those Euro bars, is that a late night snack offering?
There is a
Late night snacks
Yes.
are.
You want to know what other late night snack we just added? Is the Coney Island dog bar.
Oh, I feel like
Really?
people would love
I
that.
love that.
Yes.
At 9:00 at night while they're dancing? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
That kind
It's
of
gonna be messy.
leads me to, trend wise. So
Mm-hmm.
late night stations or late night food, I feel like we can't even call that a trend anymore. That's now just
No.
become like
It's
a
normal.
staple.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember when it started and it was like, oh my God, this is genius. And now it's just like such a fun way to personalize and keep the party going. And so
and not pizza.
and
like
not
it was
pizza.
always pizza,
Right.
right?
Right.
Pizza.
And now it goes to like, what does the couple love? What are their favorite things, whether it's conies or heroes or
Yep.
Quesadillas.
oh yeah,
Oh.
nachos. Like there's so many
Yep.
fun things, and then just like food that comfort food people enjoy eating after they've had a few drinks. And
Yes.
so
And that's a fun
yeah.
way too, because I've had a lot of times where maybe the couple or some they're like, oh well, we're really into
Mac and cheese.
yes,
Mhm.
right? But then there's other people they want to please, or there's a certain aesthetic that they want to have at their wedding, and they're like, well, mac and cheese bar doesn't really go with my like ballroom,
Mhm.
my Glensheen wedding, whatever. And I'm like, let's do it for late night snack.
Right.
And then that's
Yeah.
where because by that time it's just like party time. You're done having the like, super proper fancy, if that's
Formal portion
part-
is done, and you're there to have fun
Yes.
and celebrate.
and just get that mac, girl.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I'm actually thinking about a wedding that we did this
Mhm.
summer up the North Shore, and they had mac and cheese at the end of the night, and it was so
It was
yummy.
great.
Mhm.
Yes.
It was great. And everyone loved it. So
What
good.
are trends that you're seeing now looking into 2025 and the next
Mhm.
year? And what are you seeing in the food and beverage world that is starting to show up trend wise?
I would say fewer traditional buffets, and people are really into the stations.
Okay.
Kind of what we're talking about with all these these different stations, and fewer people wanting to do a full sit down and liking the idea of a like, more of a mingling heavy hors d'oeuvre reception the whole time. Like enough still food to count as dinner and fill their guests up, but not the like formal sit down. I would say
that was the kind of wedding I had.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years ago. Yeah,
my
I didn't want
gosh.
the full sit down dinner.
Right?
I
'Cause
wanted a
who doesn't-
cocktail style.
Everybody loves social hour, and everybody loves once dinner's done, right? And the dance starts. So maybe
we just wanted to keep it
Just
moving.
skip it.
Well, it's
And
also
we-
hard
yeah.
going from that cocktail hour to then having to sit down and you're all separated from all the people you want to talk to that you haven't seen.
Yep.
And then to have to get back up and do it again, it flows really nicely just to keep
Well,
walking and talking.
Yeah.
Our case too, I remember we had only a set number of hours in the venue and we wanted our ceremony in the venue. And if we would not have been able to have enough time to like go through all those steps. It was just like logistically was hard.
Yeah.
And so we just thought, let's keep it moving. We went straight into the dance from the ceremony, stations, bar.
Right.
The party never ended. And it's rare. People don't do it a lot, but I love to hear that you're seeing it, you're hearing it. That's exciting.
Is anyone surprised that Mariah was like ahead of the trend? Like
Absolutely not.
I was just like always a disruptor. Like I've got to do it a little bit differently.
I always said if I could go back and do my wedding again, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a lot of lag time in a wedding day, and we have to build that in when there are certain parameters around a seated dinner or everybody dining at the same time. And then also like the photography and how that rolls in. And it kind of confines to a long day that can drag on. And there are reasons why it matters and why 80 to 90% of people will do it that way.
Right.
But let me tell you, a cocktail style reception is a lot of fun and
super
totally
fun.
doable.
I think the hard part though is because weddings, they are such a tradition, a traditional thing, and everyone sort of has this view in their head of like, even as a guest, like this is how the wedding is going to go. Like this is how my evening is going to go.
They have an expectation.
They have an expectation. And so even the couple, like they'll be like, oh, and then we want to do toast at this time. And I'm like, okay, but you understand that not everybody's going to be eating at the same time. Like they might not all be in the tent then,
Right.
like you're going to have to at least put that on a timeline or like toast will be around this time. Or you have to be okay with it that not everybody's there. It's like you can't have one or like you have to kind of choose one or the other. You can't say like, you're like, I want this super casual, like mingling style reception. And I also want all the regular components of a reception. Like that's the part that you can't do.
Yeah.
And so then I think the trend that's coming around is family style because they think that that's like sort of this compromise between buffet, sit down, mingly, wanting that table to interact with each other. So yeah, we're seeing family style, which is it's exciting, but it's a challenge. It's not my logistically, it's not my favorite, but we can do it.
Yeah.
I would say my advice if you want to do family style, still do a plated salad to start out with.
Okay.
Because nobody wants the bottom of the salad.
That's
like if you're the last person to get the salad bowl, you've got it's not good at the bottom. It's all
I hadn't thought about that would be the piece not to pass.
Yep.
Okay. Or a plated salad and pass like your sides and your mains.
Yeah. And actually what we recommend a lot too to help kind of keep the price down, because like we said with the buffet, if you offer 2 proteins, it's actually more expensive. So we will also say, well, let's have we'll serve the protein, then people can still choose their protein and then family style the sides. And that I would say a lot of decor people appreciate because then I'm not taking up so much space
all of the table.
on their table.
But that's what I was going to say is if you do want to go family style, which I think is great. Actually, my sister had a family style meal. So apparently we were both ahead of the trend.
So ahead.
But you need to think about what's on the tables.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be that added element of dishes potentially on the table. And you don't want your guests fumbling for where to set them down and like having your tables messy.
Up over a candle.
So I always like to really make sure that we've well thought out that the food then becomes the centerpiece more or less of the table. Then that becomes the focal point. And that can be so beautiful and so so fun to have that sharing, but it could also go really awry if you aren't thinking through some of those things. So I'm glad to hear that you're seeing that, but you're also able to guide them on that topic.
Kind of found that happy medium of plated salad for sure, maybe even plated protein, and then pass the sides. Best of both worlds.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch gears to bar.
Oh, okay.
What are you seeing bar trend wise? And
Mocktails.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I knew you were going to say
everywhere
that.
now.
100% mocktails. Yep.
I love that because it's finally cool and fun to not drink alcohol at a wedding.
Absolutely.
And totally acceptable, and you still can have a cute glass and
and a fun drink.
fun beverage and feel included and not just have to have soda.
Yep.
Because I think there's way more people out there that would choose that route than like alcohol that they don't want.
Yeah.
So, and less expensive potentially for the couple. Tell me about that.
Actually, it's pretty comparable. Mostly because we have to bring more ingredients.
The base ingredients. Okay.
Yeah. To have like a good fun mocktail. I mean, if you are saying like, okay, we just want a Shirley Temple as our mocktail, yes, that's going to be basically the price of a soda, right?
Yeah.
But if you want the grapefruit fizz or the lavender crush or
making like a blueberry lemonade like in the summer.
Yep. We got or huckleberry lemonade is one that we have right now. So so it's actually, I mean, less than fancy cocktail, but probably around the same ish of like a standard single pour low end cocktail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good measure of where that fits in, because I bet that's another misconception that people have too. So,
Yep. And bar service too, I would say like another misconception maybe is that it's either fully hosted bar or it's a fully cash bar. And it's like, there's almost too many options for the bar. Like I think I overwhelm people by being like, you can do anything. But really it's like, host for social and then move to cash bar, host the beer and wine and have cocktails available for cash, like any combo, or do a wine pour or champagne toast, which I'm not seeing as many of those. Are you? Champagne toast or wine pour?
No, I think that
people just want their like whatever it is that they're drinking that night,
and I think
just want that.
We're more conscious of that. Different people prefer different drinks, some of which would be non-alcoholic. And so there's a lot of waste in just pouring for everybody when you half the people are going to drink it. Like there's,
wasted product and wasted dollars.
So much waste. And I tell people that all the time, like there's a formality and a fun part of, say, a champagne toast, but most people are happy to toast with what their beverage of choice is. I think the key there is making sure that they know what toast is coming. So that they can have a beverage in hand to toast with. And so kind of strategically placing that because you don't have to worry about that, like making sure that that's at every place. Like unless champagne is your thing and you it's something you've dreamed of having and you really want it. Like there's always a reason to do something if it's personal to you.
Yes.
Then absolutely let's make it happen and let's make it amazing. But just for the sake of tradition, I think we're beyond that.
Absolutely.
Like it's not necessary. We could take those dollars and put them into something that would be way more personal and appreciated.
Don't you feel like that's, I mean, across the board a trend is
100%.
Just like doing things that are more meaningful to the couple, to their story, to their history, right?
And I feel like I was preaching that for years, but I was getting stuck with like I was finding couples that wanted that because they were coming to me, but there was like a lot had not budged out of tradition. And then when we had to go to ground in 2020 and just start over, now people are like, wait, I can do it however I want.
They have so much freedom because there wasn't any rules for a while. You could only do so many people. And so like with small weddings, you can invest more into a great bar and great food if you only have 50 people.
For sure.
Rather than having to pay a venue X amount of money just to be there.
Oh, we just did an elopement and they had lobster tails.
Yes.
I'm like,
absolutely.
Because
so
they only
special
had
and
like
fun.
15 people, or 12 people. So they're like, let's like, let's go.
Yes. I have a couple that wants to do a 5-course meal because there's
Great.
only so many people there.
Yeah.
They can afford it. They want to. That's what they're excited about.
I'm ready.
They can really invest in the culinary experience of it. And that's where then, okay, if you want to match your beverages to your courses and like actually do wine pairings, and now we're in a whole different ballgame.
Right.
We're not just pouring a house red for 300 people.
Yes.
Very different story.
And that's because that's a more intimate setting anyway. So you know all your guests. You know if they're going to want that or not versus, and if somebody doesn't want it, they're probably close enough to someone they're like, well, I'll drink your wine.
Yeah, totally.
Try it.
Are
and then
you
pass it on to the
seeing
next.
across the board a decrease in the size of the weddings that you're serving? Where's that for you?
You know, I feel like we were seeing that for sure last year, or you know, for 24. 25, I'm finding there's some bigger ones coming, and then we've been getting a lot of 26 inquiries that are getting back up there.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. We're definitely seeing people are hot on planning ahead when we had been going through a couple of years of very last minute.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. We were all remarking about that
Of the number of
recently.
26. Yeah.
So that's it's always fun when other vendors get together. We have to always pick each other's brains about like, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? And it's helpful because when you might be like, why is this happening? And then you find out other vendors are feeling it or experiencing it too. Suddenly we're seeing a trend line and we're seeing like behavioral shifts or changes into generations and like what our clients are looking for, which that allows us to be more ready to serve them. And it's fun.
Because you feel that too with the guest counts? That
slightly creeping back.
So, yep.
It is more normal to have that 200 if the venue allows it, 200 plus if they can squeeze it, right?
Yeah. I feel like it was, you know, of course, back in the time that we don't like to talk about, right? Like just coming out of that, it was still like 50 to 100. And then it was like 100 to 150. And then I feel like last year it was like, I could go anywhere between 100, maybe 200. And now I'm like, gosh, we're seeing some more like 250s again. I wouldn't say that's like the most common number, but it's back, you know, getting
but
back
it jumps out at you.
It
You
does.
see it on the page.
Yeah. Yes, totally. It's much more surprising now than it used to be.
So the vendors that are listening to our chat here, our question is, are you seeing this too? Tell us in the comments on this podcast, like what you're seeing, what trend lines, you know, you're following. And I think that would be interesting to hear if other people are catching that wave as well. Well, Molly, what I would like to ask you, like, what is your favorite part of your job?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, do I have to pick just one?
No, you can pick more than one. You can say as many things as you want.
Okay, I love the people that I work with.
Yeah.
Both like internally at Blackwoods and that I get to, you know, consider you guys coworkers, basically, right? Like all of the other vendors in Duluth. I like the variety. I really like that there's days that I'm like just at my desk the whole day and I'm responding to emails and building proposals. And then the next day I might not sit at my desk for more than 2 hours because I'm doing tastings and tours and planning sessions and, you know, kind of, or even internal meetings, just getting to kind of have that variety. I think is one of like personally one of my best like work life things. And just getting to be creative with those custom menus and menu development and being a part of people's best day of their life, you know, like when I work from home, I think my husband thinks I'm crazy. Well, he knows who he married, but like
he knows who he married.
So he is accurate. I am. But I'll be on the phone or like a planning session or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. Right. And he's just like, I need to shut my door.
I'm going to go hide in the next room.
Your enthusiasm is.
Yes. And the thing is like, I'm not even faking it. I like really feel that. I mean, you guys get it. Like you really feel that for every single one of them. And you're like, I don't even know you, but I'm so happy for you. Because you know they're happy.
Yeah. It is really, we're so lucky in this industry that, I mean, we're talking to happy people planning this amazing day. We get to be part of it. It's really, it's why it's so addicting. It's why we give up our weekends and, you know, jump through hoops to make these days happen because it's really important. It's a milestone.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they're trusting you with it.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I say all the time, like, we are so honored that you chose us. And it's real. Like, there's a lot of great caterers out there. There's a lot of great florists and photographers and wedding planners. And it's like, out of all those people, like, you chose me? Like, you know?
Yes.
Like,
well, it's no surprise to me that they choose you because the first meeting they are, I'm sure, as entranced by you as we are. So,
well, the good news is I have the team and the food to back it up. So
yes, absolutely.
I'll hook them with the personality.
Yes.
Can vouch excellent food and cocktails
Absolutely.
too. So
and mocktails.
yeah. Oh, well, this is so fun. Caitlin, can you think of anything else we have to have her answer before we let her go?
Can you make it mandatory that every wedding serves the Wave of Passion cake?
Oh my God.
Can you do that for me? That is
I
my
can-
favorite thing.
I can make it mandatory that any wedding that you're planning, they bring you a piece of Wave of
I'll put it
Passion
in my
chocolate
contract
cake.
from now on. I'll do that.
Okay. Yes.
I love it.
I will add it to the event order.
The Wave of Passion.
Yes.
One quantity, Wave of Passion, chocolate cake.
Caitlin Peters.
Yes.
Yep.
The chef's going to be like, the what? Like, we're being a good vendor partner.
Now I know when Caitlin's having a bad day, I'm going to order up some
That's
Wave
what
of
I want.
Passion from
Yes,
Blackwoods
absolutely.
Restaurant.
Exactly.
She
Every single
loves
one
it.
of them.
They all have it.
They all have it.
Well, we should say too, before we close out, that Blackwoods Group has catering division,
Yes.
which you work for, but also in the Twin Ports area has the Blackwoods restaurants.
Yep. 3.
Tavern
Proctor,
on Proctor,
Duluth, 2 Harbors.
right? Tavern on the Hill.
Yep.
And Graceland Ballroom
Yes.
by Blackwoods.
Yes.
And so there's so many places that some of these favorites show up, like the Wave of Passion cake, because
Yes.
I believe you can get that at the ballroom too.
You sure can.
Yes, you can.
And some of the cocktails, which I'm excited that you can get those at the different restaurants as well.
Mhm.
So
and, I mean, catering, we can bring it within 60 to 70 miles of here. You don't even have to be right in
We've gone
town.
up the shore with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we had Wave of Passion up the shore. Oh my
We
goodness.
absolutely did.
Well, now people are going to be running out to have dinner at Blackwoods and order dessert or tavern. Now
please
I'm
do.
even thinking about it.
Just,
not a bad thing,
just
though.
get the drinks, the apps, and the Wave of Passion.
Yes.
Those
That's
are
a
like
perfect
all
night.
my favorite. I mean,
Get
the
like a meal to go for lunch tomorrow. How about that?
Ooh,
Oh,
I
there
like
you
it.
go.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring you guys lunch sometime. I do want to say one other thing because I was thinking about this with the customizing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm on Google and I'm on Pinterest and whatever. And if I had $1 for the number of eye rolls that I have gotten from chefs or operations team over the years when I'm like, but guys, look how cute this is. Like, if I had $1 for every time, I actually wouldn't have to work here
You
anymore.
wouldn't have to
But I just say to them every time, I'm like, y'all, if you would stop pulling it off, I'd stop, coming
Right,
up
if
with
You didn't
this
do
stuff.
such a good job.
Right.
I wouldn't ask for
I'm
it.
like, there's never been a thing that I've been like, hey, here's this really weird, cool, cute thing that I found online. Can you do it? Like, even if they roll their eyes on me, they still do it.
They still
gonna
do
make
it.
it.
You
Still
know,
pull- They're going to come back
You're gonna
20
do
minutes
it.
later
They
with it.
still pull it off, right? That's why I'm like, we had a birthday party that we did up in Pengilly,
Oh,
Minnesota,
yeah.
actually. That we did all these different stations. We had live grilling for burgers. We had a fajita station with our paella pans. Like, we had cast iron set on bricks with the sterno underneath to keep the soup warm. It's just like, do whatever you want. I mean, it might cost you, but we'll do it.
yeah, you can dream it. It can be done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what my team does it. And that's what I'm so lucky that I get to have that.
Oh, that's a perfect note to wrap up on
Yeah.
because that's exactly what we love about Blackwoods Group Catering and you, and are always happy to recommend and excited for
Thank you.
clients to get to work with you. And we hope anyone listening, if you have more questions about your wedding or event, food and beverage, absolutely reach out to Molly, the
Yes,
Blackwoods
please.
Group. We'll link to all of her contact information in our show notes. And she and her team would be happy to guide you in the right direction, answer your questions, and hopefully lock in a catering gig.
I promise
So-
you'll get to hear my phone voice, my excited phone voice.
You know it's coming.
I do it for everybody.
Yay. Well, thank you for being here
you
with
guys,
us
thank you so
today. And we really appreciate every chance we get to work with you, Molly.
Oh, back at you.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of the True North Weddings podcast. I hope today's conversation has filled your heart with inspiration and excitement for your journey down the aisle. Remember, love is the compass that guides us all, and I'm here to help you navigate that every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, keep following your true north. And if you need a little bit more help along the way, you can always find me at truenorthweddingsduluth.com. Remember, just by listening to this podcast, you're already pointed in the right direction.